Hello, this video is called Overcoming Fear and my experience with better understanding fear and how it works and how majority of people are living their life in fear and using fear to dictate their reality. And so I have been able to personally really deeply understand fear because I used to live my whole life in fear, and I can see how this fear has kept me from really being able to hear the voice of my higher self or the voice of the Holy Spirit, which is one and the same. But fear is like a virus, and fear blocks out the grace of God. Fear is how the ego likes to make us continue to perpetuate separation and doubt and insecurity. And once even a little amount of fear can get in the spirit or the mind, but really the spirit can never be in fear because the spirit always knows its eternity. But the way that the fear can get in, whether it's from yourself and your own limiting beliefs, or it's coming from loved ones around you, it could be family or friends, this fear is like a fire, and it can travel like wildfire if you believe in it, if you really stand with it. And that's why in A Course in Miracles it says there's only two decisions in life. We can either live a life of fear or live a life in love, and every single moment we're choosing to either live a life of fear or live a life in love. And we are the decision-making mind that gets to decide how we want to walk in this life. Do we want to live a life of fear and always in scarcity, doubt, lack, blame, shame, or guilt? Or do we want to walk in the way of Christ, in the way of peace, in the way of truth and remembrance and love, and knowing that we are always guided, we are always connected, and nothing and no one can take away that power of peace within us. And this fear is so interesting how it works, because it could come at you or come through you in a way that tries to make you doubt yourself, or doubt what you're doing, or doubt what you should be doing, or doubt what you should be saying. But when you're clearly guided and you're clearly connected to your higher self, you are unshakable. No matter what somebody says to you, you know who you are, and you know who you walk with, and you know who walks beside you. And so fear is a tactic that is used in the realm of duality to make us forget our power, make us forget in the eternity of our soul. And the human mind has such a hard time grasping what eternity really means. What does eternity mean? It's everlasting, it's undying, it can never ever die, essentially. And we don't realize that we are that's who we really are. And so for the human mind to wrap itself around, it's almost unconceivable unless you have like a very direct experience with God, or a direct experience in undoing the ego. And that is why I talk so much about A Course in Miracles, because A Course in Miracles is actually a pathway back home to help you better be able to hear that voice of the higher self within you, to better know that you can stand in love over fear and be at peace no matter what happens, no matter what is trying to come after you, no matter what people are saying about you, no matter what someone is projecting about you. And that's why Christ said, forgive them, Father, for what they do not know. Because what they do not know is they do not know the eternity that they are. They do not know that we are all one sonship. We are all one awakening mind. We are all one. And that is another concept that is so hard to even describe in words, because words are still separation ideas. So trying to describe things like fear and things like love, everybody has their own limited perception of what that is. But how else are we going to remember heaven within and remember love if we don't know how this fear comes in, or how that comes in? And I would say that most of my life, up until recently, I lived my life in fear, and I didn't understand how the ego works, even in the most subtle ways, even in the ways that Maybe you believe that you're trying to protect yourself, but really it's just creating more chaos and more separation. And that's why when you're connected to love and you're connected to your higher self and you're a living, breathing vessel, an instrument for God, you are untouchable. Nothing actually of the separation, of the duality, can even come close to you, because you know who you are and you know who you stand for. And the whole point of walking a pathway of pure non-dualism, or walking the pathway of being a miracle worker, is how to see beyond that fear and how to see past the errors and the doubts of the limited mind. And how are we gonna live in the way that Christ was embodying? How can we anchor that in every moment? And how we can do that is through love, not through fear. When we're in fear and we're constantly projecting, and these fears are always coming from this person did this and this person isn't doing this and this person's doing that, well, how can we see them through the eyes of God? Because maybe that pain and that suffering is actually just a call for love, and actually maybe it's just a call to join together, and maybe we're not so separated as we think, and maybe also, we can join in truth instead of being separated. And we all think we're so different, right? We have different jobs, or skin colors, or make different kind of money, or whatever, but actually in the core essence of who we are is spirit, and that spirit is a perfect perfection that is undying and everlasting and created by God, and anything that God created is eternal. And so I experienced yesterday this essence, or this feeling of fear that was almost paralyzing, and I was just praying and praying and praying to the Holy Spirit, and I got to understand how fear works in a way that I never have experienced before. And how fear works is it likes to get you in the moments when you're down. It likes to get you when you're even in a tinge of confusion. And then it likes to build on that and build and build and build. But when you know who you are, and you are a vessel for love, you are a voice for love, you're a voice for heaven, that is when you know fully who you are. And no matter what someone says about you, no matter what someone is saying about anything of your life, you can stand in your inner knowing that you are guided. And I would like to say also, in the spiritual community and in the realm of this awakening journey, you have to be so careful with who you're listening to. And that's why I'm always sharing about knowing your inner guidance, knowing your own personal connection to spirit, to God. Because if you're going to other people all the time for sessions, and you're always trying to seek outside of you for those answers, you don't know what that other person is connected to. Are they really connected to the higher Holy Spirit? Are they really connected and walking the way of the Most High? And so you have to be very discerning, and you have to know with certainty what is real and what is true for your path. And we're all on different I know there's not really levels, but we're all on different layers of awareness within this experience. So you might not be ready for what I have to share, right? But every person, or every single thing is leading you to a higher level of awareness based on the way that you perceive it. So if you're perceiving something in a way that is so negative and just so down and just so like in the ego of separation and fear, then you're going to continue to see that in your life. But if you're seeing through the eyes of love and through the eyes of forgiveness, and forgiveness is the greatest spiritual tool that we have in this life. Forgiveness is the highest level of joining. Forgiveness is what will honestly help you more than any other thing, because when you forgive, you free yourself. You free yourself and that other person, scenario, situation, and you can see it for the gift that it gives you. How can you see whatever you're going through in your life? How can you see what gift it is giving you. And what gift it usually gives is a clarifying energy of what you stand for and what you believe to know and what you believe to be true. And what I believe to be true is that I know with full certainty that the Most High is guiding. And when the Most High is guiding, there's not a tinge of doubt. When the Most High and the Holy Spirit, your higher self, which is all one and the same, is guiding you towards something, like creating this video, like, I feel, like, okay, I'm going to speak about this, but it's because I'm guided. It's because I'm led. Every single thing that I write or post about or share, it's guided. It's led. There's, like, no uncertainty within my beingness because it's something that's guided. And that's how we're meant to be living our life. But if we're always listening to external things or people outside of us, or we're feeding into fear and separation, it's going to continue to create more of that. I mean, look at the world. Look at the wars. Look at how most people live their life in fear and comparison and doubt and scarcity. And what does that actually do? It creates more separation. Like, let's say the virus, COVID-19. Okay, what did that do? That kept people in more separation. Because what it did is it created so much fear within the collective that most people were so scared to even look at each other. And so we see this now in social media. There's so many different beliefs and ideologies. And this person is New Age. This person is born again Christian. This person is that. This person. But what about seeing this person as a pure reflection of divinity, of oneness? And what if everything that we're going through in this life is just leading us all the way back home, because we're all going together? And in A Course in Miracles, it's saying that it could take up to 1,000,000 years for all people to actually really awaken. But you can choose in any moment what path you really want to walk. And I know with certainty, I stand for love, and I stand for unity, and I stand for the Christ way. And the Christ way is being in full union with God and with love. And love is beyond what I can even share in words. It's an experience. And it's an experience. When you experience, it can be otherworldly. It can be not even of the world. Because where we actually come from is heaven, perfect oneness. And I didn't always have this awareness. I didn't always have this knowingness. It was through always year after year after year after year choosing love and choosing to walk with courage and my wings held high and knowing what I stand for, even when people comment mean on my posts, or somebody says something negatively about me, or somebody says something whatever. But I know what I'm here to share, and I know that it's guided and led. And so everybody has their own perception and awareness, but the one thing that we can join together is that we all were created in the same image and likeness of truth and God in unity and eternity. And I much rather be sharing about how to remember heaven and love and oneness than to continue to perpetuate separation and fear, which is the feeling that I feel when fear enters, or like when fear comes through, is so much discomfort, because it's such a disresonance with who we really are. It's such a disresonance from what we experience, from the place that we come from being of this perfect perfection in heaven. And so when you can feel fear for what it is and see it for what it is, you can see that's not the truth. That's not what is of God. And what is of God is pure peace. And that's why Christ was called Prince of Peace, because he walked in a way that was undeniably certain and true. And no matter if people projected whatever they projected, darkness, they were so mean to him, but he was in so much love. Like, people couldn't even look at his face because he was in so much love. And so that's what I see now. It's like when you are walking a certain way, it can be so triggering because people maybe have never experienced true love within themselves. So they only know fear. They only know the ego. And how I've come into better understanding of this is literally through my own divine connection to spirit, and through studying A Course in Miracles, through channeling the Akashic Records. But honestly, more than anything, is my own personal connection, my own personal journey. And we have a comment here I'm going to read. Good day, angel. We are all angels down here, locked down by fear and low vibrations. Jesus is king, but lives within us. God bless. Yes, he lives through us and within us. We are no separate from him. We just need to remember that we are the son, the daughter of God, and nothing of this world can take us away from that. So yeah, this is my message about overcoming fear. I'm like literally sweating because it's so interesting to come on Instagram, the platform of so much different separation ideas, and try and bring unity and try and bring peace. But who else is gonna be able to do it? Who else is gonna come and share in this way? And it's guided, it's always led. So yeah, we are divinity, we are created in God. And so yeah, that is what I'm here to share, that if you are in fear today, or there is any fear that's coming through anyone in your life, that you just pray to the Holy Spirit and you pray to God to see this situation, this scenario, through the eyes of love, through the eyes of forgiveness. Forgiveness sets you free. Literally, forgiveness. That is why I have forgiveness circles, and I teach and I share so much about forgiveness, because forgiveness, from the way that is shared through A Course in Miracles, is so powerful, because it actually works, and you're able to hand it over to the Holy Spirit to help the Holy Spirit help you with that forgiveness. We're not meant to do it alone. But what you don't forgive in this lifetime, and if you want to go all the way in this lifetime, you can do it. But what you don't forgive in this lifetime, it just carries over to the next, and it just keeps happening. And so why not just clear it and forgive it now and set yourself free? Because what else are we here to do? What else are we here to do other than love and forgive and see our brothers and sisters as one? Because the ego has already had its way for eons of time. It's time to stand beyond that separation idea and join together. And that is why I created Akashic Angel Academy Community, a safe haven for miracles, oneness, and love to shine through. So that is what I have to share today. Thank you all for the comments, and thank you so much, and I'm honored to be here. And if this message resonates with you, like and share it with anybody that could use some love today.